Testing. There we go.
Testing, testing.
I already gave it down.
And welcome everyone to Geneseo Central High School. We are here for the quarterfinal sectional action between the Geneseo Blue Devils and the York Golden Knights. You're watching this on tv.GeneseeSun.com. I'm Chris Graham alongside Joe Retigliano. And Joe, we saw these two teams not more than maybe a week and a half ago. It's the same matchup, but with a lot more on the line today.
Yeah, absolutely. A really big game today for both teams. It's win or go home, and we get to see the exact same pitching matchup as well with Ben Kelly on the hill for Geneseo and Tyler Schutz for York.
Yeah, and that game was everything it was advertised the last time they were out here, a pitcher's duel. I think we can expect the same thing here today. Those two do not allow a lot of base runners, do not allow a lot of runs, and obviously with the pressure of sectionals, like you said, win or go home, you're expecting to see two pretty solid starts out of those guys today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw really in the game last week, we saw Tyler Schutz pitch very well for about 4 2/3 innings, and we saw Ben Kelly throw very well for all 7. So I think we're going to see a really strong start from both pitchers. We'll see how long it takes them to settle in, though. As we saw, Kelly was a little erratic in the first inning of last week's game, and Schutz was pretty much around the zone the whole way up until about the 5th when Geneseo took the lead.
So the coaches respectively have exchanged lineups. Both teams are lining up. Geneseo preparing to take the field. As they do, we will run you their defensive alignment for today's ball game. It'll be Tony Bellafiore in left, Jimmy Root in center, and Trevor Mothersell in right. Ryan LeGroux at third, Jake Fatimo at short, Sean Lebwith at second, Devin Welsh at first, Corey Valentine catching, and Ben Kelly on the mound pitching.
Sectional matchup between the visiting York Knights and your Geneseo Blue Devils. At this time, we would ask you to please rise and remove your hats. And your starting lineups for this evening, for this afternoon, beginning with the York Knights. Number 20, Will Beresford. Number 8, Patrick Deshaw. Number 10, Brett Curtis. Number 14, Tyler Schutz. Number 15, Andrew Short. Number 5, Neil Kraft. Number 11, Cody Dubiel. Number 4, Luke Logston. And number 6, TJ Coleman. Starting for the Devils. Number 3, Tony Belfiore. Number 10, Ryan LeGroux. Number 4, Ben Kelly. Number 8, Granger Flint. Number 11, Devin Welch. Number 12, Corey Valentine. Number 16, Trevor Mothersell. Number 24, Jimmy Root. Number 5, Jake Fatimo. And number 7, Sean Ledwith.
And we thank Geneseo Public Address announcer Rob Antonucci for running the lineups for us. We'll bring you really quickly again here if you didn't hear us before we went on. It is Bellafiore in left, Root in center, Mothersell in right, LeGroux at third, Jake Fatimo at short, Ledwith at second, Welsh at first, Valentine catching, and Ben Kelly on the mound. And he is very familiar with this York team at this point, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben's seen him, believe, once already. I don't know for sure if he saw him in the other game, but Ben Kelly is, well, not intimidated very easily. I'm well aware that he's a big game pitcher. He's pitched big games in the past, including closing out games at Hornell for Geneseo, as well as pitching in sectional games. So he's definitely a big game pitcher for Geneseo, and they've got pretty much the guy they want on the mound, and I would say right now Geneseo has the advantage with given their record and their pitching performance that Ben Kelly gave last week against York.
So as Kelly continues his warm-up tosses, we'll bring you the York starting lineup for today's game. Playing second and leading off will be Will Beresford. Hitting second catching is Patrick Deshaw. Hitting third and playing third is Brett Curtis. In the cleanup spot, it's the opposing pitcher Tyler Schutz. Hitting fifth is the first baseman Andrew Short. Hitting sixth, the center fielder Neil Kraft. In the 7-hole, the shortstop Cody Dubiel. Hitting eighth and playing left field, Luke Logston. And rounding out the lineup in right field, TJ Coleman. As we said, as we came on for this ball game, these two teams seeing each other just a week and a half ago. Is there something, we're getting the same matchup here? What's the adjustment process going through for both of these teams?
Well, for Geneseo, I'd say that there's a lot of confidence going into this game, having already beaten York twice. They know that they have the ability to beat them once again. It is tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year, but Geneseo is aware that for York, they need to get those bats going. And I think that's probably something they've worked on all week, really, in practice, is just getting the bats going.
First up to bat, number 20, Will Beresford.
Trying to get it going for them, and possibly getting some runs on Ben Kelly early. If you can rattle him, that would be huge for York.
So here we go. We're underway in this quarterfinal sectional matchup, and the first pitch from Ben Kelly to the second baseman, Will Beresford, is high for a ball, 1-0.
And once again, the big thing today for Ben Kelly is going to be, can he get that breaking ball in there for a strike and fool the York hitters?
Next one's a little bit low, 2-0. From Kelly is able to earn the strike, 2-1.
What's going to be key for pitchers today is really getting in and out of there off the field very quickly. It is a hot day, so they don't tire as fast.
Next one from Kelly is high. Yeah, we have a beautiful day so far here in Geneseo. If there's any showers in the area, they're definitely holding off. It's in the low 80s here and a little bit cloudy, but a beautiful day right now for baseball. 3-1 from Kelly. Right down the middle, 3-2.
And we saw in last week's game, Beresford had a 2-2 pitch, and he struck out looking on a pitch down the middle. So we'll see if Beresford learned from his last at-bat against Ben Kelly.
Little bit high, and Beresford draws the leadoff walk.
And that's a nice start for York with Patrick Deshaw coming up.
Now batting for the Knights, Patrick Deshaw.
And Deshaw last week had a pretty solid day against Ben Kelly. He was 2 for 3 and had a couple of solid singles up the middle. So this is the guy in order for York to get going. If he gets going, this could really cause some issues for Geneseo early on.
Obviously, we talked about the weather a little bit in this one. You certainly like the hot weather if you're a baseball player. It allows you to get a little bit more loose, but do you run into something as well as getting into fatigue if you're out in the sun there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Deshaw hits that one on the ground. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as the weather's concerned, this heat right here it's a little bit too much. You just imagine being in those thick pants and that usually pretty heavy jersey out there. You want to get in, get out, and into the shade as fast as possible, and I think that's going to play a key role in just everybody's ability on both teams to stay loose and not be too tired.
Kelly fires over to first, trying to pick off Beresford. He's back in safely. The 0-1 from Kelly. Hit on a line to Ledwith and past him into right field. And Patrick Deshaw is on with a line drive single. That was going to be a tough play for Ledwith at second.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well hit ball by
Deshaw. Number 10, Brett Curtis.
And that was exactly what I was talking about. Really important that Deshaw could get going, and Kelly just kind of hung a breaking ball there, and Deshaw was able to line it up and send it into right field. This is an interesting situation here with your 3-hitter up, needing an early run. Do you bunt if you are Coach Ryan Conway of the York Golden Knights?
We don't see any signs of it there as Curtis takes the Ben Kelly pitch right over the middle for a strike. Can't start off any better for the Golden Knights here in the first. Beresford aboard on the leadoff walk. Deshaw follows him with a single, 2 on and nobody out against Kelly. Next one there is squares the bunt, fouls it back.
Yeah, now that takes the bunt out of the equation, and Devin Welch and Ryan LeGroux can play back a little bit, possibly set up any sort of double play for Geneseo.
We've seen this Geneseo defense throughout the year. They are very good at fielding the ball, so if they get something hit on the ground, always a possibility that they can turn that double play. Kelly steps off the mound. He's 0-2 to Curtis. As Curtis is looking to drive in Beresford from second. He's in scoring position.
I think Kelly was looking to try and have a little bit of a pickoff move there at second, but I think you got 0-2 on the bat. You want to go right at him.
The 0-2. Curtis cannot hold his swing, and he strikes out on a high fastball from Ben Kelly. So Kelly picks up his first strikeout of the ball game.
For the Knights, number 14, Tyler Schutz.
I think that was actually a case where Curtis, he went too far around as it was, but I think he also might have tipped the ball into catcher Corey Valentine's glove to get that huge first out with Schutz up to the plate now.
So here's Schutz, the opposing pitcher. Same situation, runners on first and second. Kelly fires in a strike. Was that maybe a case of Curtis trying to do too much in the first inning, maybe get a little too aggressive?
No, I think Curtis just made a mistake there. He was a little anxious with an 0-2 pitch coming and just couldn't hold up. I think he was doing the right kind of thing there.
Next one from Kelly's high, 1-1.
Big at bat here for both teams.
Kelly with the pickoff play to second base. Beresford's back in there safely. Next one from Kelly, and that hit Schutz in the shoulder. And the bases will be loaded here for Andrew Short.
Batting for the Knights, number 15, Andrew Short.
Yeah, definitely not the start that Ben Kelly was looking for. but we're going to see the Devils stay in double play depth with Vitimo and Ledwith in the middle, and Devin Welch and Ryan LeGrew will come in the corners. They'll be going home on a ground ball to either of their respective positions.
Next one from Kelly, brushes short inside, 1-0.
It looks like Kelly's struggling with his command a little bit with his fastball. His curveball's been decent, but he's really going to need to improve a little bit in order to kind of keep York off the board here. He's in a tough jam.
Follows that up with a good fastball, gets him to swing through it, 1-1.
Big opportunity here for York to really put Geneseo in a hole.
1-1 from Kelly, fouled back by Short, 1-2.
Either that was a fastball either it was a changeup or Short was expecting fastball, because he was a little bit ahead of that. You almost saw him mid-swing kind of slow down and just to make contact. This is a big pitch for Ben Kelly, and Andrew Short needs to stay alive or get something going in order to get the run in here.
1-2 count with an aggressive hitter at the plate. I think Kelly might be thinking curveball here. The 1-2 from Kelly. Goes fastball high, almost threw it over the catcher's head. 2-2.
Big stop by Corey Valentine there. That's how the first run scored last Tuesday, I believe, when York put up that first run. Their only run was in the first inning on a pass ball. So really, really big stop there by Corey Valentine.
2-2 from Kelly. Takes it inside, 3-2. And no place to put Andrew Short.
A little bit of a struggle right now for Ben Kelly, but he's one pitch away from really making this a lot easier on himself.
So here it comes, the full count offering from Kelly. Short hits it in the air, out to right field, and that ball is going foul. Looked like it might stay fair for a second, and I think the wind grabbed it a little bit and pushed it foul down the first base line.
Yeah, that wind, that's a huge play for Geneseo. The wind blowing that one foul, really, that saves about 2 runs for Geneseo, because that ball down that line is difficult to field typically, and trying to make a throw home to get the speedy DeShaw on second would be difficult for Geneseo. Another big pitch here for Ben Kelly.
3-2 again from Kelly.
That one is hit in the air.
That ball's going to be out of play.
And good work by Andrew Short to stay alive here. And just got a piece of that one. And again, the wind probably saved York a little bit there, because Devin Welch was over there and looked to make a play, but just got over the fence there. So another life for Andrew Short here.
Kelly will fire the 3-2 again. Short hits it on the ground to Fatimo at short. He makes the play at second. Ledwith over to first, and he throws the ball past Devin Welsh. 1 run will score. Here comes DeShaw to score. And 2 are in early here in the first for York.
And that's exactly what York needed. They got, it was a little bit of a slower ground ball up the middle. Vitimo with a nice play.
For the Knights, number 5, Neil Kraft.
Was able to get that ball over to Ledwith at second, but Ledwith, with his momentum traveling the way it was, kind of across the bag away from first, he overcompensated a little bit with that throw and just threw it past Devin Welch. And 2 runs are allowed to score for York.
Yeah, Fatimo gets the out at short on the flip to Ledwith, and then Ledwith's throw, he obviously had the runner right on him, threw it to the right of Welsh, ended up hitting off that fence, and that allowed the second run to score. Kelly now 1-1 to center fielder Neil Kraft, 6-man to bat in this inning. Kraft swings through that one, 1-2.
Almost looked like he pulled his back foot almost out of the box there and just made a little bit of a defensive swing. Kelly's way in front right now. Chance to get out of this inning. York isn't really threatening right now, so it's the big pitch for Ben Kelly.
Fouled back. We'll do it again, 1-2. One, two again from Kelly. One's fouled. We'll do it again.
Kraft doing a nice job right now to keep Kelly from getting that out, and it's making Kelly throw more pitches than he wants to, and this is going to be something we're going to need to remember in about 4 or 5 innings. Is if Kraft or Short had gone down easier, Kelly might be able to stay in the game a little bit longer.
1-2 is inside, 2-2. Yeah, certainly has been a laborious first inning here for Ben Kelly, giving up. In addition to giving up the 2 runs, has thrown a lot of pitches.
It's very important for him to get this out right here for his long-term stamina.
2-2 from Kelly. Kraft swings away on it. Now he's going to try to run down to first. Valentine over to Welch, and the inning's over. But not before 2 runs cross the plate for York, and after a half inning, the Golden Knights lead it 2-0.
And Ryan Conway, the York head coach right now, is talking to the umpire about a potential foul ball on the 3rd strike they called there. And from here, it sounded like Kraft did make contact, but the reason the ball came out up the first base line was because it went off of Corey Valentine's gear, and if anything, it was barely foul tipped. Conway does have an argument though that was it should have been a foul ball and possibly another strike. So Geneseo catches a break there, and that's a tough call any way you slice it. With all the sounds going on.
Absolutely too, and you hear the ricochet off a bat, you hear the ricochet off someone's gear. If you're just sitting there as the umpire, you're not maybe going to be able to tell the difference between one or the other. Obviously, Kraft was way out in front of that breaking ball, so it kind of got away from Valentine. For my money on it, it sounded like it went off Valentine's gear, and he was able to make the throw down to Welsh to end the inning. But like you said, certainly a little bit of a debate. York's thinking, hey, that could be another base runner for us, possibly another run. So, they're certainly looking at it from their perspective.
Well, and another thing that I think it doesn't help York's case whatsoever is that Kraft ran down to first, and once he was out on the throw to first, that he then turned around to make his case along with Coach Short and Coach Conway, Short being the first base coach. If he had simply stopped right away, believing that it was a foul ball, it'd be a little bit different. But it almost might be that Kraft also thought that
batting first for the Devils, number 3, Tony Belfiore.
That Kraft actually thought that when he hit the ball, that was the ball going down the line. I'm almost 100% sure that ball went off Valentine's gear. So that either way, that's a difficult call for both sides. But Geneseo catches the break, and offensively, they got to get going if they want a shot here.
So they will be opposed on the mound today by Tyler Schutz. And just like we said about Ben Kelly in the top of the first inning, Schutz knows this Geneseo team very well, as he'll offer the first one to Tony Bellafiore, and it's in there for a strike. As far as the York defense goes, it's Logston in left, Kraft in center, Coleman in right, Curtis at third, Dubiel at short, Beresford at second, Short at first, and the battery of Deshaw and Schutz. Bellafiore fouls that one down. And as far as the Geneseo lineup will go, it's Bellafiore leading off, LeGroux hitting second, Ben Kelly hitting third, Granger Flint in the DH hitting fourth, Devin Welsh hitting fifth, Corey Valentine hitting sixth, Trevor Mothersell hitting seventh, Jimmy Root hitting eighth, and Jake Fatimo rounding out the lineup hitting ninth.
And this is kind of big for Geneseo as far as dealing what they received in the first inning. Is they really need to make Tyler Schutz work to get all 3 outs.
1-2 is fouled off by Bellafiore. We'll do it again.
And Bellafiore is, we've talked about Bellafiore and Mothersell really being scrappy ball players, and that's especially at the plate. And those 2 guys are going to be really key to getting Tyler Schutz's pitch count up.
1-2 is popped up. See if it stays in play. It's just over that fence. Patrick DeShaw was looking to make a play on that.
Yeah, that was a little bit difficult there with all the wind, and you could see the ball swirling up there. Not an easy play whatsoever for DeShaw. And really, this is huge. It's a 1-2 count, but Schutz has thrown almost 7 pitches already to the first batter. This is what we're talking about.
1-2 again. That one's hit on the ground down to Curtis, and it's under his glove and going into left field. And Tony Bellafiore is on aboard. With the speed that Bellafiore got, that would have been a tough play for Curtis. That was a tough hop there. Tough hop that he took there, and Bellafiore is able to get aboard. Geneseo gets the leadoff man, and even, had he not even gotten on base in that inning, to your point, if Schutz already thrown 7-8 pitches, that's what you want your leadoff hitter to do. You want him to see as many pitches as they possibly can, get that pitch count up early, and see if you can get into that Golden Knights bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a tough ground ball. And really, you look, that's a tough play with Bellafiore's speed, but the short hop was really difficult, and Geneseo catches another break.
So here's Ryan LeGroux, third baseman, hitting second. Takes a ball inside, 1-1.
And that was a really nice breaking ball from Schutz there. You saw LeGroux turn a little bit because he thought it was going to hit him, but it didn't. And Schutz is really going to have that serious movement on the breaking ball. And the wind will help him out today, but he's going to need that in order to keep the Geneseo hitters off balance, because when we saw him last week, his breaking ball was not fantastic. It was good, but it wasn't really great, and that's how Geneseo was able to beat him.
1-1 offering is hit in the air, out to Logsdon and left, and he puts it away. First out of the inning.
And that ball was hit well, but just right at Logsdon, and big out for York.
Batting next for the Devils, number 4, Ben Kelly.
Yeah, it's nice defensive positioning by Logsdon. He barely had to move for that one.
He is, however, giving up a lot of the line out there in left, which it didn't hurt him there, but with the future guys coming up, Jimmy Root, for example, that would be you don't want to give that up.
So Ben Kelly will step in against Schutz, and Schutz's first one is over for a strike.
Really, I love watching this matchup. Ben Kelly, Tyler Schutz, whether it's Schutz on the mound or Kelly on the mound, it's a great matchup.
Kelly hits it out to short. It's fielded by Dubiel. Beresford flips over to first, and the double play is turned. So in the inning, the base hit for Bellafiore goes for naught, and after an inning full, it's 2-0 York.
Yeah, very close play there at first. The umpire gives the out to York and ends the inning there. And that's huge for York defensively. You really need that. And York's got a little bit more of a following here today than they did last Tuesday. So you have the crowd on your side a little bit on that third baseline. That really helps, when you make a play like that and you hear your fans going pretty crazy.
Yeah, not far for the Golden Knights faithful to travel, just right up Route 63 heading north. So they have come out, and as my partner said, a good amount of people on that York sideline. So they've got a little bit of a cheering section for them.
And it sure doesn't hurt to have a couple extra bodies over there to give you some support if you are the visiting team, especially playing over here against the number 2 seed and your rivals. Should be, first inning aside, as we saw in the game last Tuesday. Other than the first inning, Geneseo absolutely dominated York in all aspects of the game. I know the score was only 3-1, but Ben Kelly outpitched Tyler Schutz down the stretch. And then if you include the first inning, Tyler Schutz outpitched Ben Kelly. So I'm interested to see what adjustments Ben Kelly makes and what adjustments Tyler Schutz makes in order for Schutz to continue pitching the way he did there in the first, getting the outs he needs, and really to see what Ben Kelly can do to hold York off the board, because 2-0 right now can get out of hand real quick. And I know from my experience playing under Coach Chuck Nesbitt is that although he's the ace on this staff in sectional games, Coach Nesbitt is not afraid to pull the struggling pitcher whatsoever early on. He doesn't want to wait until it's too late.
Well, it's just like you said, and both of us have said throughout this game just so far, only through one inning, it's win or go home. So you can't You can't sit around if you're the coach and wait forever for the mechanics to get figured out. If you feel like your starter doesn't have it, you're going to have to go get somebody else and try to keep this game close. Certainly only is 2-0 now. We've only played one full inning, so more than plenty of time for Geneseo to get back into this one. But certainly something to watch. But we've seen Ben Kelly enough this year. We've seen him enough over his career to know that he's a guy that can, once he gets settled in, you don't get much off him. His first offering to Dubiel is over for a strike 0-1.
And he's gonna need to have a lot more of those first pitch strikes, and they really help, and that'll show his command and his ability to get pitches in the strike zone.
Hit out to the shortstop Fatimo. Welch with a nice stretch over at first base, and Dubiel is retired, one away.
And Dubiel with quite a bit of speed there.
Batting for the Knights, number 4, Luke Logston.
And on a ball that really wasn't hit that well, wasn't hit that hard, and Jake Fatimo came up and made a nice play and got the big out. And that is a huge out, especially going into this bottom half of the York lineup.
So here's Luke Logston, the 8-hole hitter, the left fielder. Kelly blows a fastball by him, 0-1.
Logston's a little bit behind that pitch. It's going to be, at this point when you see a batter behind that far, really as a pitcher, you just want to keep throwing it by him.
And he does exactly what my partner says, throws another fastball by him, 0-2. Yeah, why change it up?
Yeah.
Why change the eye level? Why change any pitch selection? If you know you can't catch up to the fastball, don't try to outthink yourself and throw something off speed. And Kelly certainly didn't do that. Logston got 3 fastballs, and Kelly threw them all right by him. And Ben Kelly picks up his 3rd strikeout of the ball game.
Number 6, T.J. Coleman.
And that's really huge because with a batter, when you're up 0-2 on a batter that's way behind your fastball, and Logston didn't really take any time or whatever. He didn't really try and throw Ben Kelly out of his rhythm. It's huge just to go right after him and get the pitches down.
That ball's looked like it went over Coleman's shoulder. Don't believe that hit him.
It was very close though.
Certainly brushed him out of there. And we've seen Kelly unleash a couple of those early on in this ball game.
He just certainly hasn't settled in yet. I think this is a big inning for him as far as settling in and really having that command over the plate.
Next one is over for a strike, 1-1. Kelly's 1-1. Coleman swings through it, 1-2.
And quickly here, Coleman's in that hole, 1-2, and Ben Kelly really needs to get out of this inning as fast as possible, and I believe it would be probably about 8 pitches here if he gets out there.
And the 1-2 is blown right by Coleman for another strikeout. So Kelly records 2 strikeouts in the inning, but more importantly, a 1-2-3 inning. And after an inning and a half, York leads it 2-0.
And that's the inning that every pitcher really wants. I know Ben Kelly didn't get a 3-pitch inning, which is very difficult even at this level. But really, what you need is, after having a long inning like you did in the first, get your defense off the field as fast as possible and be able to really get your offense going, and that's huge. And I think that was really one of the biggest parts of that inning, is you saw Ben Kelly have command over the plate and just take this one into the bottom of the second as fast as possible, with being extremely efficient as far as his pitching, went.
And you alluded to it in the last time that we had these two teams, Geneseo and York. Ben Kelly's played in, I believe you said 7 sectional games.
So 7 sectional championship games.
Championship games. So the guy has experience of pitching in high-pressure situations. So he's not going to get fazed by, okay, it's a quarterfinal game and I gave up 2 runs in the first. He knows he's got plenty of start left to correct what was wrong in that first inning, and I think a good sign for the Blue Devils faithful to see him come right back out and get a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, absolutely. And we haven't seen him pitch in a sectional championship game yet. Last year, Taylor Semmel pitched. Actually, no, I'm sorry, he did pitch my senior year.
Next up for the Devils, number 8, Granger Flint.
My senior year, he came in relief against Cuba Rushford, the game we lost 5-2. So Ben has pitched in sectional, pitched in one. He knows how big this game is, and as a senior, I know he's really going to do his best to try and get back to one final sectional championship game.
Second inning ready to get underway as Tyler Schutz's first offering was a tad over Granger Flint's head, the designated hitter who steps in for the Blue Devils. Flint hits it on the ground. That's a nice pick over there at third by Curtis across the diamond to short, and Flint is retired. What a pick over there at third base.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we saw the first ball hit in the first inning go right at Curtis for a base hit. It was a softer hit ball and a tougher one to field.
Devils, number 11, Devin Welch.
But this one, much harder hit, and Curtis comes up with a nice stab there and fires it across to get Flint. Big out for Tyler Schutz.
So Devin Welch, the first baseman, the 5-hole hitter, will step in. He takes a strike from Schutz.
And if Welch can get on, this would really kind of kickstart it with Valentine in on deck circle right now.
Swinging through that one, 1-1. Is it just me, or does Welch's batting stance look a little bit different? He looks to be a little bit more in a crouch than he's been maybe in the past couple of games.
I think he's trying to shrink his strike zone a little bit, and we'll see if it works.
One's fouled away near us, 1-2.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Maybe it'll definitely shorten up his swing a little bit. If you look where his hands are actually a little bit more towards the top of his ear, which will give him almost like a half swing.
1-2 from Schutz is thrown in the dirt, 2-2.
And I've always felt that if you have a shorter swing, it gives you maybe a little bit longer. It gives you a little bit longer of a look at the ball, coming in, deciding on whether or not you're going to swing.
Welch hits it on the ground. Short goes off his glove. Beresford recovers and throws it over to short, and Welch is retired.
And a lucky bounce there for York to get the out. And so far, I think we could say that.
For the Devils, number 12, Corey Valentine.
I'd say that right now you could pretty much say that that York's gotten a lot of the breaks so far.
Absolutely.
From the bounces on the baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Your everyday 3-4-3 putout. As Schutz throws that one by Corey Valentine, the catcher, hitting in the 6-hole. Yeah, you want to talk about a lucky bounce that goes right off Shorts' glove, and Beresford, shading that way, was able to pick it up and still have enough time to get Welsh going down the first base line. Valentine will foul that one away, 0-2.
And Valentine, if you're watching, Valentine is way ahead of I apologize, Schutz right now. Schutz's fastball has been, like we said in the last time we saw this team, Schutz is not, probably still suffering from that knee injury he suffered in basketball. He's not throwing as hard.
Valentine hits that one out. Center fielder Kraft calls it, has the ball, and the inning is over. So a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Schutz. They remain in the lead after 2 full, 2-0.
Yeah, and once again, really, I don't want to say that was a good out for Geneseo. Obviously, Valentine put the bat on the ball, just wind picked it up a little bit and hung it up there. But, you look and you have Trevor Mothersell in the on-deck circle, to start off the next inning. He's a scrappy hitter. He's a lot like Belfiore. If they can get Mothersell on with nobody out, they can really go to work offensively. And once again, this is a big opportunity for Ben Kelly to assert his command of the strike zone, coming up with York's top of the order here. And I think you're gonna see it. Ben looks like he settled in that second inning, and York really a big at bat here for Will Beresford. If he can draw a walk like he did in the first inning, things once again could get a little dicey for Geneseo.
Yeah, Beresford was the guy that got it started back in the first. He walked and came around to score on the air with the bases loaded.
And then Deshaw followed him, and that's going to be another thing for Deshaw is, can he stay hot facing Ben Kelly? Because Ben has pitched extraordinarily well against the rest of the York lineup. It's that 1-2 combination right now of Beresford and Deshaw that Kelly struggled with a little bit.
And we see it through all levels of baseball that there are certain hitters that just have pitchers' numbers. Is that what Deshaw's doing right now for Kelly? Does he just have his number, or is he just seeing the ball well these last couple at bats against him?
I'm not sure if it's just that he's got his number, because we did see Kelly strike out Deshaw in the 6th inning of the game last Tuesday. We also saw Deshaw get a couple hits. I think the thing about what Ben Kelly's been doing as far as pitching goes he's kind of left his fastball up in the zone a little bit, and Deshaw's a fastball hitter. When Kelly goes to the breaking ball like he did in that sixth
Batting
inning,
first for York, number 20, Will Beresford.
when he goes to that curveball, that breaking ball, he's been able to get Deshaw off balance. So I think really it's going to take his Ben Kelly or Coach Nesbitt really to make the call that Kelly's got to work the pitches a little bit differently.
So Beresford swinging on the first pitch, hits it down to LeGrew at third, throws over to Welsh. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that's what Ben Kelly was looking for.
Absolutely, that's a huge out, and that even neutralizes the threat of Patrick Deshaw getting a base hit, because what we have seen is Deshaw hit the ball hard. We haven't seen him hit it far, and that's a big difference.
Batting now for the Knights, number 8, Patrick Deshaw.
If Deshaw was a threat to hit the ball out it deep into the gap, that would be a different story. But right now, this is a good setup this is exactly what Ben Kelly wants.
So Deshaw steps in, singled, and scored a run back in the first.
And right there you saw Ben Kelly throw the ball in the dirt a little bit. And that's just, he's kind of cupping his curveball a little bit and threw it too far into the ground. So you can already see that he knows he wants to go to the breaking ball. As long as he doesn't hang it, he should be all right.
Next one to Deshaw, right over the middle, 1-1.
And right there, I think that was it. That was a big setup pitch. That first pitch, even though it was in the dirt, you had Deshaw thinking probably curveball once again, but Ben Kelly goes right back to the fastball and evens the count.
Something off speed. Deshaw way out in front, 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a flatter breaking ball, but it was a little bit lower in the zone, so it's tougher for Deshaw to get to.
1-2 from Kelly. And he gets Deshaw swinging on that breaking ball. Another punch out for Ben Kelly. The inning has started off pretty well for him. He's got the first 2 outs of the inning, and not on too many pitches as we saw in that first inning.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's 5 pitches. And Brett Curtis up to the plate for York. And Ben Kelly can possibly get out of this inning with, maybe 10 or 11 pitches, which would be huge.
So here's Brett Curtis. He was a strikeout victim back in the first. Kelly's first offering to him was off of his catcher and grounded towards the Geneseo dugout.
It looked like it was in the dirt a little bit again, so another breaking ball that Kelly just couldn't quite get into the zone. That's definitely a setup pitch.
So is he consciously doing that, or is he just having his trouble getting his breaking ball over?
I think he's having trouble doing it, but I think it forces the York hitters to think a little bit more, because in the first inning he was strictly fastball almost.
We see a high fastball there as he gets it by Curtis, 1-2.
And now like I said, he's way ahead in the count right now, 1-2. Good chance here to get out of this inning. Limited pitch use.
1-2 is in the dirt, blocked by Valentine, 2-2.
Right now he's at, I believe he's at 9 pitches right now for this inning.
2-2 offering from Kelly, and that's a fastball again, and he strikes out Curtis. Second time he's punched out in the ball game. Kelly strikes out 2 in the inning and gets another 1-2-3 inning. Geneseo looking for 2 runs. They trail at 2-0.
And you know what? That's huge for Ben's confidence, and especially for the defense, that your pitcher's really able to get those outs. And also, you really got to think, if your pitcher's throwing gas like that and really keeping the top of the order off balance for York, as of right now, we're really just waiting for the offense to put it together for Geneseo. But if Tyler Schutz and the York defense can continue to make the plays they've been making, with a couple of double plays, one double play, a couple of nice plays in the field there by Curtis at third and Beresford at second, this could be a really low scoring one. I mean, I anticipate this to be a 4-3 or 5-4 type of game. I don't think we're going to get a lot of scoring here with the guys we have on the hill that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And through the first 2 innings, Tyler Schutz only has 1 blemish on his record, and that's a leadoff single from Tony Belfiore. So he's certainly kept these Geneseo bats in check through the first 2 innings. We'll see if that remains true. He'll get the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9, Mothersell, Root, and Fatimo. So we'll see if the Blue Devils can get a little bit something started and then roll the lineup over. as Trevor Mothersell, the right fielder, will check in.
And
Batting first for the Devils, number 16, Trevor Mothersell.
And, you know, it's big. This is a big first out if Tyler Schutz can get it, because Mothersell's a scrappy hitter. If you can get Mothersell, and then Jimmy Root, he's a very difficult hitter. He's either going to hit a home run or he's going to, you know, swing and miss at a, you know, strike out or whatever. I mean, he's capable of a lot. So although sometimes he does strike out, if you can get the first 2 outs, that's huge, and keep Geneseo from turning over the lineup.
Mothersell hits that one on the ground past Curtis and into left field, and Mothersell is aboard with a leadoff single.
And that's a big hit for Geneseo. Mothersell's got a lot of speed, and it really sets up Jimmy Root nicely.
Jimmy Root.
Jimmy has incredible power, and you know he can really make this game a little bit more interesting with a gapper here, a little bit of an extra base hit.
Root takes the first one for a strike from Schutz, 0-1, excuse me. Mothersell obviously a threat to run over at first base as he begins to take his lead. Next one from Schutz, that's hit on the ground. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Mothersell thought about third, now just makes the turn and holds up at second, but it's back-to-back singles for the Blue Devils as they're in business here in the bottom of the third, excuse me.
And that ball was tattooed by Root down the line.
Now batting for the Devils, number 5, Jake Vitimo.
And just snuck it in on the line there, just past Curtis, and that was huge for Geneseo with Vitimo up, and I gotta think he'll be bunting here.
So here's Vitimo, he squares the bunt, it's a good one. Schutz will go actually to third, and they're able to get Mothersell going. That one maybe actually hit a little bit too close to third base as he's able to nail down the lead runner.
Up to bat for the Devils, number 3, Tony Belfiore.
Yeah, and that's a tough break for Geneseo and a great break for York to get that out. Heads up play by Schutz at the pitcher's position there. Big out there for York.
And sometimes you're not even sure if the pitcher's going to see that. They're maybe thinking the easy out, but certainly the easier play would be to go straight to third. The ball led him that way, and he was able to get the speedy Mothersell before he was able to slide in there.
Yeah, and you know, that was it was a solid bunt from Vitimo as it was. Just if he had gotten it probably down the first base line, they wouldn't have been able to get the out at third. But either way, I mean, Geneseo still set up pretty nicely with the top of the order at the plate.
So first and second, and 1 out as Belfiore swings through that 0-2.
Big breaking ball strike there from Schutz, and we've been waiting to see that really all game from him, and that was a big one right there, and we'll see if he comes back with it here with an 0-2 count.
0-2. Belfiore just jabs at it and able to foul it away and stay alive.
Nice defensive swing there from Belfiore to just stay alive, and that's really what Coach Nesbitt really is hoping for right now. Just trying to keep the guys alive at the plate, just move the runners along here.
Schutz went to pick off Root at second base, and he threw it to Beresford, who was nowhere near second base but was able to make the change. Is that just a little bit of miscommunication there?
I think it might have been a little bit of miscommunication. I just don't think Beresford was over in time. It was a timed play, but he wasn't quite there.
Belfiore hits it on the ground, and that's going to go into left field. Root's getting waved home. He will score, and it's an RBI single for Tony Belfiore. And just like that, the Blue Devils have cut the Geneseo lead in half. Now 2-1 York.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's it.
Next for the Devils, number 10, Ryan LeGroux.
And that's a huge hit for Geneseo. Obviously, first and second again with just 1 out, and really, that's probably one of the biggest plays you could get is that 1 out hit, staying alive, still threatening, and you know you could hear it. The Geneseo bench got really excited when they were able to get that run across, and this is a big situation for Tyler Schutz. He's got to get out of it in order to keep Geneseo from taking a lead here.
So LeGroux will check in. He flew out to left field in the first inning. Takes a pitch a little bit low, gets the Golden Knights will get the benefit of the call as that's a strike 1-1.
You can almost feel Geneseo pounding on the door right now.
Next one's a little bit outside, 2-1.
I think between the last inning and this inning, or at least between the first inning and now the bottom of the third, it's gotten a lot more intense here for I would say just the atmosphere. The bench, both benches are into it. Geneseo a little bit more right now than York. When York's in the dugout, they're very animated, but it's gonna. I think this is a big turning point right now for both teams.
Shuts his next one to LeGroux. He's able to get the inside corner 2-2.
And that's another breaking ball in the zone, and Schutz just kind of smoothly pops it in there, and it's a big strike.
2-2 from Schutz. LeGroux hits it in the air. Curtis has got it at third. As LeGroux pops out to the third baseman, and there's 2 away for Ben Kelly.
Yeah, and that was a big out for York there. It could have almost been seen as
Batting next for the Devils, number 4, Ben Kelly.
the ball wasn't hit quite high enough to be ruled an infield fly, but nonetheless a big out for York. Now 2 down and still have a lead here, but probably the most dangerous hitter between the two squads up at the plate right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we talked about with that pop-up there as Kelly steps in, takes the ball low. That was a good job by Fatimo to get back to second base there, because it looked like Curtis maybe was thinking about letting that one drop and see if he could double off the runner.
Yeah, absolutely. And good play there by Fatimo to stay close.
Next one to Kelly's outside, 2-0.
And I bet right now this is about the most patient at bat you're gonna see from Ben Kelly right now. He wants the pitch to get that run in.
2-0 is lined out to left field,
Foul.
and it's going foul.
And that was very close to being that pitch. And like I said, and I said it earlier, Luke Logston is really playing very, very far out towards center. He's shaded towards left center, which is, and it looks like he's moved over a little bit. But if Ben Kelly puts one down that line again, there's no
doubt
chance.
that's 2 runners are
That's going to
scoring.
be 2 runs in. You got speed on the bases, and I would imagine that's at least 2 bases for Ben Kelly. So Schutz is going to have to make an adjustment here.
2-1 to Kelly, a little bit high, 3-1. Flint's the on-deck hitter. He could be batting with the bases loaded if another ball is thrown.
I almost wonder if Schutz walks him here, even with 2 outs and no bases open. This is not the guy you want to face.
Next one is lined out to center field. Kraft has a beat on it, and he puts it away for the final out of the inning. But Geneseo is able to earn an RBI single from Tony Belfiore and cut the lead in half. After 3 full, it's 2-1.
Yeah, no, just got under that one. Ben put a ride into that one, but Tyler Schutz does a really nice job of getting that third out. And once again, I mean, this is going to be a huge inning for York offensively. Who can they answer the Geneseo call here? And Geneseo did, that's a huge job. We didn't see them strike until the 5th inning of the game we had last week between these two teams. Schutz had Geneseo on the ropes there. It was a 1-0 ball game into the 5th, but then Jake Fatimo had that big 2 RBI single. So we'll see what happens here. This is potentially a big inning for York. If they can get a couple of runners. But if Ben Kelly continues to pitch like he has the past 2 innings, there's absolutely I don't think that there's a way that York's going to be able to string anything together.
Now we're looking here at the line. Kelly's thrown back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. Is it fair? Is it still too early to say that he's starting to get in the groove, or do you think he's getting into the groove of this game now?
I mean, I'd say he's in the groove right now. What's going to be, to know whether or not he's going to stay in the groove is going to be this inning right here. Ben Kelly's a very solid pitcher. He knows his stuff. He knows his body better than anyone else. If he stays in this rhythm, he'll go 7, without a doubt in my mind. I think he's probably, despite that long inning in the first, if he throws the way he did the last 2 innings, I think Ben Kelly is going to be nearly unhittable the rest of the way.
Yeah, as we talked about, a laborious first inning for Kelly, but 2 very economical innings in innings 2 and 3, as he was able to get the side retired in order. without giving up anything, but he's got the meat of the order coming up here in the fourth.
Batting for the Knights, number 14, Tyler Schutz.
Starting off with Tyler Schutz, and then following him will be Short and Neil Kraft. So meat of the York order here is they're certainly looking to get back that 2-run lead. They gave one back in the last half inning. There's Kelly's first offering to Schutz. He gets the call on the low strike, 0-1. Schutz was hit by a pitch in the shoulder in the first inning. Or excuse me, that was in the first inning.
This is the big pitch right here. Can he get way ahead of him?
Throws that one in the dirt, 1-1.
Looks like Kelly's been struggling with that first curveball that he throws in the at-bat. He's cupping it a little bit too much, and after he throws it once, then he finally gets it into the zone. But he's got to be able to have more command over that.
Next one's a little bit outside, 2-1. Could that be, we talked about the heat. Or could you be getting a little bit of perspiration on the ball, and that's just making it slide out of there a little bit more than usual?
Yeah, possibly. I think that might be an issue there.
2-1 is hit by Schutz down the line, foul.
That one into the weeds out there in right field.
So we might find that one by football season.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, and it's a 2-2 count right now, and really, this is a big pitch. I think a lot of the reason why Kelly's been throwing the ball in the dirt is not mechanical. I think it's just, with the elements here in the wind and the sweat.
2-2 is hit on the ground. It'll stay fair. Welch knocks it around, fields it, and then retires. Schutz 3 unassisted on the play.
Yeah, I know. A little bit of an issue there for Devin Welch to field the ball, it looked like.
Well, it hit
number 15, Andrew Short.
The ball hit him in the wrong place, right in the glove. And he knocked it off his hand, but still had plenty of time as the ball didn't travel too far away from the bag, and he was able to get the out of Schutz. So here's Andrew Short. He takes the first one from Kelly inside, 1-0.
And these next two hitters, Kelly got induced a ground ball to with Short in the first inning, but that led to 2 runs on the error. But still, a really good opportunity here for York if they can just string something together.
Next one is down, 2-0 to Short.
Kelly, it doesn't look like he has the same command he's had in the last 2 innings, but he's certainly not he's not falling behind too far yet.
2-1. Fouled back by Short over the top of the dugout.
And I think that was a key pitch for Kelly there. I mean, Short, fouls the ball off, but a 3-0 pitch to Andrew Short, you don't want to put it in the zone to him because he's good enough to hit that ball out.
2-2 is hit on the ground and under the glove of Fatimo and into left field. Short aboard.
And a little bit, looks like probably about a loss of focus there from.
Batting for the Knights, number 5, Neil Kraft.
Scoring that one in air?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's a tough play, and moving kind of to the backside, maybe worried about throwing the runner out at first or whatever, but that ball just snuck under his glove, and Fatimo still got a chance here to redeem himself if he were to be able to turn a double play.
He had to shade for it a little bit, but certainly had more than enough time with Short coming down the line. Now one of the faster runners on this Golden Knights team, but just under the glove, and Short's aboard at first for Neil Kraft, who digs in against Kelly. He took the first one high, 1-0. Next one's a little bit low, 2-0.
I think we can see a little bit more. Kelly's tiring a little bit. I think that has something to do with the fact that he just batted. I don't think that helps him because still having all that energy in that last inning. I think we're seeing him throwing a little bit. He's obviously a little high and a little low. He's struggling a little bit right now to find the zone.
3-0. In that last pitch there, he looked like he almost just overthrew that one. So 3-0 with Short anchored at first. And Kelly fires in a strike, 3-1.
Still a chance for Kelly to fight back here. Just got to keep throwing the ball in the zone.
3-1 is fouled.
Right
off to the right side.
Right over our head.
Right over our heads, but we had more than enough space.
This is great fight by Ben Kelly on the mound, and great fight by Neil Kraft. We'll see what happens. This is a big pitch for both teams.
Full count offering. That one's fouled back. We'll do it again.
It's all about staying alive here. We'll see if Short's on the move. I don't think he will be.
He wasn't on the last pitch. 3-2 from Kelly. That one is hit up the middle and into center field. So a single for Neil Kraft, and the Golden Knights have 2 aboard in the inning for Dubiel, the shortstop.
Batting for the Knights, number 11, Cody Dubiel.
That's York's first hit since the first inning. As we said, Kelly had a very good second, very good third. Now a little bit of adversity here in the fourth. Short got on in the air by Fatimo, and Kraft just singled into center field. So Dubiel, 2 guys on and 1 out. Dubiel swings, fouls that one back, 0-1.
And Ben Kelly looked like he reached back a little bit more for that pitch. Really brought it there, and this point, I think this is a big at bat for York. If they can get another runner, it's going to be difficult in the long run, but Ben Kelly's certainly not going to surrender another hit willingly.
Dubiel hits that one out to center. Root's got a beat on it and puts it away for the second out of the inning. Short thought about third and then stayed anchored at second. As you said, too, Kelly's got a little bit of certainly some big pitches to make here to get out of this inning, but this is a bottom.
For the Knights, number 4, Luke Logston.
This is a bottom half of the order that he's handled. Dubiel now, as he's gotten out twice. Once on a ground out to Fatimo, that one a fly out to Root, and Logston, who he overpowered back in the second inning.
Yeah, and I expect
strikeout.
I expect he's going to drop 3 straight fastballs right here. He knows he has Logston's number, and that probably, if Logston can get a piece, that would be huge for York, especially with the possibility of turning their lineup over in the next couple of hitters here.
Next one from Kelly to Logston. That one goes off Valentine's glove, so the runners will move up to second and third.
And it's now even more important that Ben Kelly gets the out right here. As we've seen, Logston hasn't been able to really catch up with Kelly's fastball. So right now, this is the batter for Ben Kelly, and this is the batter that he needs to get out. Really, I think this is going to be, if Logston can get on, this might be an issue for Geneseo.
Yeah, base hit here, you would assume would score 2 runs, and then you're looking at a 4-1 ball games. But the man is at home plate, and the person of Luke Logston, that's who Ben Kelly's trying to get. That one he threw outside 2-1.
All they need is the 1 out, so Geneseo really doesn't have a lot of work to do. They just need to be able to execute it here.
2-1 offering. Logston swings through that fastball 2-2. You got to be thinking Kelly's thinking the same thing on the next pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't see why he'd want to throw anything else other than that fastball. I mean, Logston hasn't been able to hit it. He's thrown it 7 times, so I'm assuming we're going to see it here for an 8th time to Logston here.
Runners take their lead from second and third, and the 2-2 from Kelly. Throws it over the head. Short's coming home, and he will score. And York picks up their 3rd run of the ball game. Wild pitch there from Ben Kelly.
Oh, and hold on a second. They're calling that it hit the batter. And so now it's going to be bases loaded, and that's a bad break for York. And Coach Neil Short is very unhappy with it. And I tell you what, you don't want to irritate Coach Short. I had him in Little League, and there were a couple of times where he was pretty animated about some calls he believed should have gone the other way. And I personally thought that was not a. I didn't really realize that it had hit Logston. Home plate umpire makes a call. That's a big break for Geneseo.
No, I mean, it did not. From our angle, it didn't look like it hit him. Maybe it grazed him on the arm. And as you said, throughout this game so far, it seemed like the Golden Knights have gotten some good breaks on some balls or just on bounces. In that occasion, they did not. If that ball does not hit Logston, that's a run, and that's a 3-1 lead. Now you've got the bases loaded.
Knights, number 6, T.J. Coleman.
Bases loaded, which is still not a good situation for Ben Kelly on the mound, but he's got T.J. Coleman, who he struck out back in the second. Also the 9-hole hitter in this Geneseo lineup. So instead of a run on the board for York, it's a hit by pitch and the bases are loaded. And Kelly throws the first one by Coleman, 0-1.
Yeah, and that might. I think that's more of a break for Geneseo, and possibly an advantage with Kelly's ability to dominate the bottom of the order. And Coach Nesbitt went out and talked to him for a second there. I think you're gonna see Kelly I think he's reined it in a little bit.
0-1, he throws by him again, 0-2. As we get the wind picking up here a little bit.
Big pitch here for Ben Kelly.
The 0-2 from Kelly. A little bit high, 1-2.
And I think really for Ben Kelly right now, Kelly doesn't need to really worry about it that much. But I mean, he's way ahead of Coleman.
1-2 is hit on the ground. Kelly's got it. Throws over to Welsh at first. And he is out. So the inning is over. So York is not able to get a run there. We thought they might have had one, but it's called a hit by pitch, not a wild pitch. 3.5 in the books. The Golden Knights still lead it 2-1.
And you know what? That was a bad break for York. Unfortunately for the Golden Knights, they weren't able to get the run there. But at the end there, Ben Kelly almost didn't make a good enough throw to Devin Welch at first. Pulled him off the bag a little bit, but the umpire still gave him the out. So I mean, this is an important inning for both teams. I believe it's Granger Flint leads it off for Geneseo. So
yeah, absolutely. Certainly a big inning for them. They got one run back in the last inning, so they're looking to get another run across the board.
I tell you what, if Geneseo gets a run or one or two runs here, that'll possibly be one of the biggest momentum shifters, because they have the confidence. They know Geneseo knows they can do this. They have the confidence because they are the number 2 seed. They've beaten York twice. I think the only issue is just getting there. I mean, you see it with a bunch of teams. It takes them just a little bit longer to kind of heat up.
Batting for the Devils, number 8, Granger Flint.
And we've seen Geneseo. They've been a late inning team. This whole year they scored late inning runs against York, and they scored late inning runs against Bath last week. So York's not out of the clear yet. Not into the clear yet. Sorry.
Schutz's first one is a little bit up to Granger Flint, the designated hitter. Flint grounded out to the third baseman back in the second inning. Flint goes to Curtis again. Curtis knocks it down, and he's going to not have a play at first. So Flint is aboard on the single.
Big base hit. And you know what? That's another tough play for Brett Curtis at third. And I got to say, we've been talking about
for the Devils, number 11, Devin Welch.
We've been talking about how nice this, how nice this field is at Geneseo, how nice of a job they've done to, improve it over the years. Before they resurfaced it, that would have been in the outfield with ease.
So Welch hits it on the ground. Curtis makes the play on that one, throws the second for one, and that's all they'll get. So fielder's choice there as Flint is out at second.
I think that's a big play for Brett Curtis, too. I mean, obviously a tough couple of bounces there.
Next up for the Devils, number 12, Corey Valentine.
It almost seems like he gets every other, bounce to be the one he wants.
Well, certainly when you have one bounce off your glove like that and the guy reaches it first, the thing that you want is another opportunity. He got it on the next pitch and was able to get the out at second base. certainly we've seen it, when you maybe make a bad throw or aren't able to get to a ball, the ball seems to find you for that entire inning, and it's found Curtis 2 times already in this one.
And Schutz has been throwing some off-speed stuff here to get ahead of Corey Valentine, and he's up 0-2 right now. This is a big pitch for him. He can get right back into the driver's seat.
0-2 as Valentine goes around and he strikes out. That's Schutz's first strikeout of the ball game.
Big strikeout, big out for York. 2 down. I know Trevor Mothersell is a scrappy hitter, but for the defense, it's a lot easier, when you have that 2 outs, to be like, all right, we're that close to getting out of this inning and not giving up the lead.
So here's Mothersell. He hits it on the ground. It's to Curtis again, and it pops up on Curtis again. So Mothersell is aboard.
And like you were saying, Chris, that the ball, just seems to find you the rest of the way. And another tough hop for Brett Curtis. And let's be honest here. This is probably not the guy that you want to be batting with a runner in scoring position. We saw Root lace a double down the left field line, and Brett Curtis has already seen every ball in the inning hit to him. I'm sure he doesn't want to have a screamer right now. It would be very difficult to field.
Root was able to sneak that single inside the third base line back in the 3rd inning, his first at bat, and he also came around to score Geneseo's only run. Next one's a little bit outside. 2-0.
And Schutz is just missing. He's around the plate, but he hasn't quite gotten it yet. And he really needs to find the zone quickly.
2-0. Root hits it on the ground. It's fielded there at short by Doobie. A long throw over to first, and ball pops out of Andrew Short's glove. So everybody is safe. Bases chucked, 2 outs for the Blue Devils, and the person of Jake Fatimo.
Number 5, Jake Fatimo.
And big play there by Cody Dubiel not to let the ball get into left field and drive in the tying run. But you know what? This is an interesting situation. We had the same one last Tuesday, and Jake Fatimo came through with a 2-run single to give Geneseo a lead. Let's see. Same situation here. We'll see what he does.
Schutz is able to throw the first one by him, 0-1. Yeah, we did see this situation. Fatimo went to right field and scored 2 runs. We'll find out if he's still got that same approach today. Fatimo hits it on the ground. It gets past Schutz, fielded by the second baseman, and he throws to the shortstop. That was a odd-looking play, but they're able to get Jimmy Root at second. And after 4 complete, York leads 2-1.
And that was close, and Geneseo was really hoping that one would bounce their way, but a big out for York. And you typically don't see a force play at second be called safe, unless the runner clearly beats the ball to the bag, or even if the fielder is pulled off the bag. You typically don't see that called the offensive team's way.
Yeah, it was a strange play there because Beresford's momentum was taking him still towards first base. He then decided to do a 180, a pirouette, and throw it to second base. He was still able to get the out at second, but kind of a strange play there.
Yeah, and I think Beresford was going to second the whole way. Not that he thought he couldn't get Fatimo, and possibly that it would be easier to get Root at second. And I kind of agree with him here, much closer, but that was almost like a no-look pass in basketball, how quickly he had to turn around and grab it.
I think Dubiel knew the ball was coming?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that, you'll see middle infielders talk all the time, whether it's their gloves above their mouths or whatever, the hand signals. They know whether or not the ball is going to be coming to them. And on a slow roller like that, a play at first, I think the play at first might have been a little bit easier for Beresford, but he made the play, and in hindsight it worked out. So not an issue for York, and they still have the lead. And fifth inning is We got the top of the order up for both teams, so it should be this could be a big inning for both teams and both pitchers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kelly had a little bit of a and we still have the same score here, 2-1. So we'll see if momentum goes either way here in the fifth, as Kelly's just about done with his warm-up tosses, and Will Beresford, the leadoff man
for York, number 20, Will Beresford,
will lead off this fifth inning for the Golden Knights. First of the inning from Kelly is low, 1-0. Beresford walked and scored a run in the first and then grounded out to third back in the third.
Kelly certainly has the velocity to get by the York hitters. He hasn't been able to place it yet.
Next one's a little bit low, 2-0. From Kelly, low again, 3-0.
Big pitch here. Kelly really needs to fight back, and if Beresford gets on, I think we're going to see a little bit more of what we saw in the first inning with Patrick DeShaw on deck.
3-0 from Kelly's a strike, 3-1.
He brought a little bit, looked like a changeup or maybe a breaking ball in there for the strike there. A lot of confidence going to it on 3-0.
3-1 from Kelly's hit on the ground, and that's past LeGroux and into left field. Beresford hits first, and he'll stay right there as Belfiore is able to get the ball in to the cutoff man quickly. Leadoff single for Will Beresford.
Now batting for the Knights, number 8, Patrick DeShaw.
I think that's the first hit we've seen Beresford come up with off Kelly in these last 2 games. But really nice opportunity for York if they can get DeShaw on as well.
DeShaw swings through the first one from Kelly, 0-1.
And he did strike out in his last at bat, but I would say that this could be another big at bat for York if they can manage a hit.
0-1 is down, 1-1.
Yeah, and then you saw DeShaw pull around a bunt there. Probably not expecting it. DeShaw's got some pretty solid speed, and so does Beresford. So that'd be an interesting attempt there. I don't think we'll see DeShaw square again though.
We do see him square, jabs at it, 1-2.
That's surprising, unless Coach Conway really thinks that DeShaw's gonna get on base. DeShaw's really the only hitter that's consistently been able to get on base against Ben Kelly. I'm surprised that he.
Geneseo at least seemed to have that scoped out pretty well. As DeShaw was getting ready to square the bunt, Ryan LeGroux basically could have shook hands with DeShaw as he was right on top of that play. So they definitely were thinking that he might bunt there.
Well, with 2 strikes, we'll probably see DeShaw swing away. Let's see if he can regain his own rhythm and at least get and there. As I said last week, that could throw off Ben Kelly right there. That taking your time in a hole like that. Maybe DeShaw's hoping Kelly will hang a curveball or leave his fastball up a little bit, but big pitch here for Ben Kelly.
Kelly throws over at first. Beresford's back in there safely. Yeah, Ben Kelly's a guy, he gets the ball and throws it. Kind of reminds me of watching a guy like Mark Burley. He's a guy that
very quick.
No wasted motion whatsoever. Next one from Kelly, a little bit high, 2-2.
And like I said, I think you don't call time there if you're DeShaw. Kelly fires in another strike, and you never know.
Two offering from Kelly. Just a tad low, and the count is full at 3-2.
Yeah, that was very, very close. I think that was a little low, though.
So the full count offering. Beresford does not go. DeShaw hits it on the ground, and that's past LeGrew into left field. Beresford hits second base, and he's thinking 3. Now he's going to pull up and get back in at second. Nevertheless, it's a single of the back-to-back variety for the Golden Knights, and they've got 2 on and nobody out for their 3-hole hitter, Brett Curtis.
Number 10, Brett Curtis.
And I think this is this might be it.
We're seeing Coach Chuck Nesbitt come out to the mound. And we'll see here if he's just discussing things with Ben Kelly or
He's
if
going to
they're
be
gonna make a
discussing
sub.
them. That's coach's discussing stance that he typically uses.
Interesting thing here when we get back to play, you've got back-to-back singles. Now you got Brett Curtis up, your 3-hole hitter. He struck out 2 times. You're in a 2-1 ball game. Are you bunting with him?
Absolutely. There's nobody out. I think you're definitely bunting.
So when in doubt, talk it out. That's what Nesbitt and Kelly did on the mound. Kelly will stay in the ball game. First and second situation here is Brett Curtis will come up, and we're thinking that that the bunt is a very
Batting for
good
York,
possibility.
Number 10, Brett Curtis.
And, I mean, I think what's important here is that can Brett Curtis lay down a better bunt than Jake Vitimo did in order to get the runner over? That last inning, that was a huge change of momentum, I think, for York to get that out at third. And there's that bunt.
So he squares, pulls it back, and takes a strike. Bluff there as Welsh was coming in from first base.
I think Curtis was thinking about, I think he wanted to see if Ben Kelly was going to throw the ball in the zone to start. Kelly obviously did. I think maybe we'll probably see Curtis really square here.
So here's the 0-1 from Kelly. Curtis does not square, hits it in the air. It's fielded by Ledwith, and he puts it away for the first out of the inning.
Big out. Very big out. I'm surprised that he didn't continually try to bunt there.
Next batter for the night, number 14, Tyler Schutz.
So here's Schutz. He was hit by a pitch in the first and grounded out to the first baseman in the fourth. First and second now 1 out for the Golden Knights. And those are some big insurance runs, and Schutz knows that. He's the opposing pitcher on the mound. Kelly's first offering to Schutz is low, 1-0.
Another close pitch there. And I think, I mean, this is huge for both teams. Geneseo desperately needs an out right now.
1-0 as Schutz hits that back to Kelly. He'll take the easy out at first, and Schutz is retired. Runners will move up to second and third.
And I think that's not a horrible thing for York. They do move the runners along, but now you're 2 outs with Short at the plate.
York, number 15, Andrew Short.
And Short's found ways to get on both times thus far.
Yeah, he's picked on the middle infielders. He got a board on an error by Ledwith in the first inning.
Yeah, on that double
and
play.
error by Fatimo in the 4th inning. Ball low, 1-0.
And we saw a similar situation in the first inning for Short when he was at the plate, but there was a runner on first. The bases were loaded, but another big situation for Ben Kelly.
Short fouls that one back, 1-1.
You got double duty out there behind the backstop. Short's foul ball managed to bounce up and hit a truck and a motorcycle.
Now that's impressive.
Yeah, it takes some serious accuracy.
One run from Kelly to Short. Short hits it in the air. It's out to center field. Root's got a bead, and now he's got the ball.
Oh, dear me. And the umpire calls the out there, and I mean, if you can't see it on the camera, that ball was hit into center field and was caught, but the umpires are saying on the transfer he dropped the ball, And Jimmy Root jogs back as Andrew Short's kind of arguing a little bit. Jimmy Root says it was on the transfer to Short.
It did appear to be on the transfer. We're not really getting.
And the York fans are pretty upset about that, but the coaching staff's really not.
Yeah, we're not really getting a huge argument here from either coach. It did appear from our angle, and obviously we're a little while way out from center field, but it did appear that he caught that ball, and as he went to sling it back to his other hand, dropped it.
Yeah, and I don't really think that's not a great break, but I don't really think anything happened. And there is a certain York fan over there absolutely going crazy. I think that was, that's York basketball coach Ed Orman giving the umpires a little what for over there.
And Orman is really giving
He's fired up. And I know we've seen that on the basketball court.
Yeah, we have definitely.
First hand for me, but holy cow.
We've seen myself and Josh Williams, certainly some of the York games that we call, we know Orman can get very animated on the sidelines and yelling at the umpires on that one. As we said, it looked to be that he lost it on the transfer. But certainly, certainly if you're going to see a ball drop in the outfield and you're cheering for the other team, you're going to believe that they blew the call.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's a tough. I mean,
first for the Devils, number 3, Tony Belfiore.
You typically don't see that called the other way either. That's usually kind of an in and out call. You don't really change that.
So first one from Schutz to Belfiore is high 1-0. Yeah, exactly. We're not talking a catch trap issue here with Root out in center field.
Right.
We're talking the catch and the transfer. You more commonly see that play on the bases. You'll get a force out at second base, and the guy loses it as he goes to transfer it over.
And that's usually the call that is extraordinarily disputed.
Can't say I've seen it in the outfield too much though.
No. I mean, I know it's happened a couple of times. It hasn't been disputed, though. Ooh.
1-1, Belfiore fouls it right off the umpire's mask. Surprised we didn't get a ride cheer from the York fans there. That the umpire took one off the dome.
Yep. Well, I mean, really, Tyler Schutz, if he can get an out here, that would be huge. He's had LeGrew's number, who's in the on deck circle, so big pitch here.
Belfiore hits it, goes off of Schutz's glove. That's going to be a tough play, and it's not made, and Belfiore is aboard at first.
Yep, and just and that's a difficult play for the pitcher.
Number 10, Ryan LeGrew.
And I mean, really, you can't. I mean, there's really nothing you can do about that. Tough play, bad. Not exactly the break you're looking for, but I wouldn't be surprised to see if Tony Belfiore is on the move. The Devils haven't run all game.
LeGrew bunts. Schutzel field. Throws over to first. LeGrew's retired. Sacrifice will go 1-3. And Belfiore now moves into scoring position.
And not a bad bunt there.
For Geneseo, number 4, Ben Kelly.
With one out and your best hitter up, I think that's probably the best move. You only need one run right now, and it's a whole new ball game. So Kelly hasn't had any luck at the plate yet thus far, but this is a big at bat.
Takes a strike over the middle plate, 0-1. Kelly so far in this ball game, he grounded into a double play in the first and flew out to center in the third.
And that double play ball that he hit was laced, but just couldn't get it.
0-1 hits on the ground. Dubio fields it at short. Oh, and now he fakes the throw to first, and Belfiore now is caught in the rundown, and Belfiore is going to be tagged.
Oh, wow.
And now Belfiore is tagged out.
And that was interesting because the runner was tagged out and then he dropped the ball.
And then I believe the umpire called that
They
Belfiore.
did call him out, yep.
Belfiore was called out, I think.
And there's 2 outs now. And there was an uproar from the Geneseo faithful here, and the York faithful feel like they got a makeup call a little bit there. And that's a tough play. I mean, Dubiel is a little bit cheeky there. I've never seen that. I think you take the sure out before you take the, you know.
That's a nice,
it's a huge play.
That's a nice deceptive play by the shortstop.
I think Belfiore should have been staying anyway.
Fake the throw to first as Belfiore was looking to take off for third, and then he got caught in the rundown.
And with Kelly on first, I mean, if you're Chuck Nesbitt right here, you got to be testing Patrick Deshaw's arm right now. You've got a 2-0 count on Flint. I definitely think it's about time to get the runners moving, try and make something happen.
Flint's grounded out to third, and he is singled in this ball game. Takes another one high, 3-0. But you're looking at a completely different game situation because it looked like it would have been runner at second, nobody out. And unless Kelly goes and runs for second, you don't have a man in scoring position. But that's ball 4 to Granger Flint, and now you do. As he'll walk on down to first base, Kelly up to second, and it's 2 aboard for Devin Welsh.
And we're not going to get a pinch runner here, which I'm not surprised about. But
number 11, Devin Welch.
But with 2 down here, this is huge right now.
So here's Welsh. He grounded out to first in the second inning and a fielder's choice in the 4th inning.
And really, I mean, Tyler Schutz has been extremely accurate. You can't have a pass ball here.
Fouled off by Welsh, 0-1.
A pass ball will make this an entirely different ball game, and should be this is a very big at bat, both teams.
Next one's the Welsh, hangs a little high, 1-1.
Yeah, that's a tough breaking ball. It's high. Right now you're at a 1-1 count. Schutz, I think it would be definitely a good thing for Schutz to be careful here. Valentine on deck. He's a solid hitter.
A little bit low and in the dirt, 2-1.
Good block by Deshaw to stop the runners from moving up on that ball in the dirt. And a lot of credit needs to be given to Deshaw keeping that ball in front of him this whole game. Geneseo runners haven't moved up at all.
Another one that he's able to block, 3-1.
And it looks like Schutz is now getting a new baseball here. It looked like a brand new baseball he was using before, but Schutz has not gotten any help from. He hasn't been able to put the ball in the zone in the last 3 pitches. So big pitch here for Schutz. You don't want to have the bases loaded with 2 down.
3-1. Welch hits it on a line. Kraft's got a beat on it in center field, and he makes the catch. And the inning is over. So we are through 5. The Golden Knights with the 2-1 lead.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of worry over here from the Geneseo players, but I'm sure that will. These guys don't feel worried at all. And right now, I mean, Geneseo takes the field here for the 6th. And we've got Coleman was up. I'm sorry. So it'll be actually the top of the order once again for York.
Actually, it's the
or
middle of the order. Neil Kraft's going to lead off. As Andrew Short made
that's
the
right. No, Andrew Short
last
made
out in the inning,
5.
flying out to center field on the play that certainly got the York side
Fired
of
up.
Geneseo Central fired up. I think would be a very good word to describe it.
Yeah, they were. That was a very animated group of people over there.
Play in question was Jimmy Root made the catch on the fly ball from short that ended the inning. I believe the bases were loaded as well. And as Root went to make the transfer from his glove hand to his regular hand, dropped the ball on the transfer.
Yeah, and that's that That was obviously a bit of a bummer there for York, but I mean, I think the umpires made the correct call. You don't see that quite as much, really overturning that.
And even after all that, all the excitement on both sides, because we had a couple of plays that were disputed, score is still the same, 2-1 Golden Knights. And you wonder if there's a little bit of pressure starting to get in the heads of the number 2 seed Blue Devils here. They know they're playing at home here in this sectional quarterfinal game, but they are getting everything they can ask for from their rival right down the road.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say that at this point, it's I would say there is a little bit of a worry factor, I'd say, right now. But I mean, if they get a strong defensive inning right now, I don't think that there's going to be an issue. As long as they can get those bats going. You've got Valentine leading it off.
Batting for York, number 5, Neil Kraft.
And you know, a lot of people look forward to the bottom of different teams' orders. I'd say that I'd say Geneseo's bottom of the order is still pretty strong, so it should be interesting come the bottom half.
First one from Kelly is low, 1-0 to Kraft, who's struck out in the first and singled in the fourth.
And that ball eats up Vitimo, and he has caught all the bad bounces he can handle.
Batting for York, number 11, Cody Dubio.
Yeah, rough bounce again for Fatimo. Score that one in air on the shortstop, and Kraft is aboard for Dubio. And Dubio certainly was deceptive, to say the least, at shortstop in the last inning, able to get Belfiore with a fake throw to first, and then was able to tag Belfiore out going from second to third.
Yeah, big at bat here. If the Devils can get an out, that'd be huge. Dubio was way ahead of that one.
Fouls it over the screen.
And if Geneseo can get a double play or something, it's not going to be that difficult for them to get out of this inning. Kelly's been pretty good with the bottom half of this order, so he needs to continue to be good.
Dubio tried to edge out of the way of that one. Kelly gets the call for the strike. 0-2. 1-2, excuse me.
And another big pitch here for Ben Kelly. He's got to try and get out of this inning as fast as possible, and getting this out would be huge.
1-2, skips it in there. Nice block by Valentine. 2-2.
I mean, we haven't. I mean, obviously this wasn't. I mean, Kelly pitched well, very well against York last Tuesday, but I mean, this hasn't been his best outing. But he still pitched really well to keep York off the board in the last couple innings.
Another one is low. Count 3-2. Next one, Dubio hits in the air. It's out to Root in center. He's got the ball. And the transfer works well this time as he's able to throw it back into the cutoff man, one away.
Absolutely. And that's a huge out. I mean, Dubio's hit the ball hard today, just right at the Geneseo defenders.
Number 4, Luke Logston.
So here's Logston. He struck out in the second and had that controversial hit by pitch in the fourth.
Yeah, and that cost York a run, ironically. You usually don't see that kind of, hit by pitch where they cost the team a run like that, but it did there, and it's still a 2-1 ball game. That could be, if Geneseo comes back to win this, that could be a real momentum changer.
Kelly blows the fastball by him, 0-1. Next one from Kelly. It's bunted by Logston. Gets past Kelly, and Logston's going to be safe at first. And that's the last thing I think the Blue Devils were expecting was a bunt from Luke Logston.
Yeah, and he placed it perfectly. He really just got it just past Ben Kelly on the mound and got it into to the second baseman, Sean Ledwith.
TJ Coleman.
So here's Coleman, struck out in the second, grounded out to the pitcher in the fourth inning. He checks in with 2 men on and only 1 out. First one from Kelly. Coleman right on it, fouls it straight back.
Yeah, with runners on first and second and the top of the order coming up next for York, Kelly's got to get an out here. It would be huge if he could get the double play, but if he just gets 1 out and is able to get Beresford out, that's pretty much a big move for the Devils going into the 7th.
Coleman calls time.
Let's see if he just threw off Kelly's Kelly's rhythm a little bit there.
Next one, Kelly throws right by him, so I'd say no.
Yeah, well, you know what? The ball looked like it came out a little bit high out of Kelly's hand, but it came into the strike zone as it came across the plate. So regardless if Coleman swung or not, I think that was going to be a strike either way.
Next one to Coleman, fouled back and out of play. Next one from Kelly to Coleman. And he's called out on strikes.
And that one was pretty close. It looked like that was about knee high, and Coleman didn't like it, and I can understand that.
Next batter for York, number 20, Will Beresford.
Yeah, tough one to say because we've seen that low strike called a little bit today, and then we haven't seen it called. Gets called there on Coleman, and he's retired on strikes. Another punch out for Ben Kelly. And Beresford now, their leadoff man, who has walked, singled, and grounded out to third in this ball game.
And
we'll have 2 guys on and looking for an RBI.
This is a big bad at bat for York.
Kelly's first one right over the middle, strike 1.
And I think it's also big for Geneseo. If Kelly can get Beresford out here, facing Deshaw to start off the top of the 7th won't be as difficult a task because he doesn't have to worry about anyone being on base.
Next one's a little bit high, 1-1.
However, on the flip side, if Beresford gets on right here, that could spell big-time trouble for Geneseo.
Then it would be the person to Dishaw, who's 2 out of 3 today. Attempted pickoff there. Ball got away from Welsh. Kelly was quick to back him up to get back to it.
Looks like Welch took that one off the glove and then off the melon there, as they say. Kind of hit him in the face.
Coach Nesbitt's going to take a time out here to check on his player. He get hit on the ricochet then?
Yeah, I believe so. And that is no fun. But Coach Nesbitt feels like his first baseman's all set, and with 1 strike, even count it 1-1, it's a really good chance for Geneseo to pick up the big out here.
Next one is a little bit high.
And he just missed there. And look.
Foul ball over on the York side, as we had a person that was absolutely bailing out from getting hit from that
Absolutely.
ball.
Well, that ball, I mean, when Beresford hit it, it went straight up over the plate, but that ball, the wind just took that one, and I'm sure with the spin just took it right out of play.
And that woman was fairly confident that that ball was going to find her and was
Definitely
absolutely bailing out of her seat as that one was coming back at her.
Yeah, there was no way she was going to stay put in the wake of that ball coming down.
Next one is fouled back by Beresford again, 2-2.
Oh, and Beresford just got a nice one-hopper on another vehicle out there. That's a good 70 feet back, too. So we're seeing some extracurriculars. You know, you got to be careful where you park here at Geneseo.
Absolutely. You have to be very careful. And understand that if you do park close, you might end up with a couple of dents when the ball game's over. Kelly throws up high, 3-2, and the runners will be off with this one with 3-2 and 2 out. So not the situation that Kelly wanted, as both runners from second and first will get a little bit of a head start.
Yeah.
Runners take their lead. And now they've got the runner picked off. Good throw from Ledwith, has him, and he is out. At third is Dubiel, as they were able to pick him off. Strong throw from Ledwith to Ryan LeGroux, and LeGroux's able to put the tag down. And we're going to get Coach Conway discussing this one with the umpire.
I'm not sure exactly what his case is right now. Ben Kelly made a nice play to get the runner off balance there at second, but that was a beautifully executed play by Sean Ledwith at second, firing over to third to get the out. And I would say that definitely shifts the momentum here.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked to be a pretty close play, but they clearly did have the man picked off.
And you see Neil Kraft out there. He's fired up.
Fired up.
And
excuse me, that was not Dubiel that was called out. That was Kraft that was called out at third base. And he was certainly letting some emotions go there and show to the umpire. He believes he was in there safely at third.
Yeah, you could hear him yelling a little bit. And, you know, that's a tough play at third. You know, sometimes even if the ball beats the runner there, it doesn't always mean that the runner's out. I mean, we clearly do not have the best angle whatsoever for that. But I would assume that the umpire has, you know, a very good reason to call the way he made the call. And I think this umpire's been, the base umpire as well as the home plate umpire, have been pretty stellar so far today. And
yeah, and I mean, certainly any game that you have, you know, going 7 innings, you're going to have some calls that are disputed. I mean, you see the major league level, you have, you know, 4 umpires. There are only 2 umpires for high school baseball, so these guys have to do a lot of moving and shifting, and you have to give credit where credit's due. They have a tough gig out here as far as having to adjust to where everything is hit. They don't have 2 other guys to rely upon, so they're doing the best that they absolutely can. You're going to have some disputed calls. Like my partner said, we didn't have the best angle of that play at third base, but certainly the umpire was right there to make the call.
Number 12, Corey Valentine.
And with Valentine at the plate, the Geneseo needs a base runner right now, so this is a big at bat for them. That first pitch was a little high there to Valentine. Let's see if Schutz can find the zone here.
Next one also a little bit high, 2-0.
And I know, you know, this isn't the last cracks at it for Geneseo, but you know, bottom of 6, this is a good time to get your run scored. That way you don't have to worry about it in the 7th.
Ball is fouled straight up. Curtis is tracking it and puts it away for the first out of the inning.
And you know, at 2-0 and the pitcher hasn't thrown a strikeout, I almost wonder why.
Next batter for the Devils, number 16, Trevor Mothersell.
I almost wonder why Coach Nesbitt didn't have him take that pitch. You know, you want to make sure that the pitcher can throw a strike before you're going to be taking any cuts at it. Schutz has been solid thus far, and see if he can continue it through this inning.
Mothersell hits that one on the ground. Dubio has it at short, throws to short at first base, and Mothersell is put away. And 2 quick outs here for the Golden Knights.
Geneseo's next batter, 24, Jimmy Root.
And Jimmy Root can put a runner on second or third in a heartbeat, so Tyler Schutz will need to be careful here.
Root's had a nice day. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a run scored.
If Root can get on base, that'd be huge for Geneseo.
Two-0 the count quickly to Root. He puts himself in a nice hitter's count. That one's a little bit high, 3-0.
And I didn't see Jimmy Root give Coach Nesbitt a look, but I would bet that he knows he's taking right here.
The 3-0, he does take. It's low, 4-0, and Jimmy Root will walk on down to first base.
I think that was a really close pitch, to be honest. I was kind of surprised.
Batting next for the Devils, number 5, Jake Vitimo.
And a little bit of a yelling match there between the home plate umpire and assistant coach Neil Short of York.
It's been testy out there, I think.
I think specifically between those two today, Short gave him a little bit of stuff earlier on in the ball game, but whenever it is he said the shots didn't take very long. And
batting for the Devils, number 5, Jake Vitimo.
Might have been something to the extent of, I don't know why the umpire's so mad at me.
yeah, I think he's like, oh, I don't have anything to say anymore.
So we're back in, and it'll be the 9-hole hitter Fatimo, and Schutz throws low, 1-0.
I think Schutz, I mean, it's possible Schutz might be tiring a little bit, but he hasn't thrown a strike. He's thrown 5 straight balls, so we'll see if he can find the zone here. Ooh.
Oh, and a very low strike called.
And you know what, that was definitely lower than the strike, than the ball 4 to Jimmy Root in the last at bat. So that was a little bit of hesitation too, but we'll see what happens.
That one's low, 2-1. Yeah, and it's surprising too, as we had said, that it was 5 straight out of strike zone. So you think if you're not showing consistency of throwing strikes, you'd get a call that low. Schutz did get it, but then threw a ball right after that, 2-1. Fatimo swings through that one, 2-2.
And Fatimo's now, I mean, 2-2 count. He's just got to put it in play.
He does put it in play, but he hits it right at Beresford, the second baseman. He goes the short way to short, and the inning is over. We've got 6 full in the books. The Golden Knights lead this one, 2-1.
And a nice Sunday hop for Beresford. Fatimo put a charge in it, but just couldn't find a hole, and it's coming down to decision time for Geneseo.
Certainly is, as we get the
nice gust of wind there.
What a very nice gust of wind here, picking up as we get ready to start the 7th inning. And yeah, I mean, you certainly got to start having the thought in your mind. You know that you're going to have last ups in the 7th, but you're looking at yourself as the 2 seed, and in a way, the Golden Knights are looking at, we're only 3 outs away from putting out the number 2 seed and moving on in sectionals.
Yeah, this is definitely, I'd say, a little bit of pressure setting in. I've been in that dugout in an elimination game down in the bottom of the 7th, and I can tell you that both times that's happened, Geneseo did not make a rally, so I'm sure the boys are hoping they can pull something out here. I mean, the other thing is you got to have faith in your order and in your bats, and York's got their top of the order up right now in the 7th, and Geneseo will have their top of the order up in the bottom of the 7th. So really right now it's going to come down to the to those pitchers, and can they keep Geneseo? Can they keep York off the board? Can they keep Geneseo off the board? It's a very
this
big
one
inning.
again, just like we saw when we were back out here about a week and a half ago, everything that's been advertised between Kelly and Schutz, a pitcher's duel. As we sit at 2-1 in favor of the Golden Knights as we get ready to start the 7th inning.
Batting for York, number 20, Will Beresford.
So here is Beresford to check in. He was up in the 6th inning when as he lines that one right out to Tony Bellafiore, who makes a nice jump catch out in left field, and Beresford's retired.
That was a great piece of hitting by Beresford. He, laced it out there in the left, but Bellafiore had a great jump on the ball. I thought for sure that was going to get in.
Patrick Deshaw.
I'm not sure if Bellafiore was doing his best Alfonso Soriano impression out there and left. A nice little jump skip before he caught it. So that first one from Deshaw is fouled away.
Yeah, and this is the guy Geneseo needs to get out by all means.
Deshaw is 2 out of 3 with a run scored today. York scored both of their runs of this ball game back in the 1st inning. Since then, Ben Kelly has shut him down. Next one to Deshaw is a little bit high, 1-1.
Yeah, and Kelly's got to be able to get that curveball over. We haven't seen him have the same command that he had last Tuesday on it, but still a good opportunity for him here to hold York off the board.
That one is grounded out to short. Fatimo's got it. Throws over to first to Welsh, and Deshaw beats it at first. So Deshaw aboard with the infield single.
Yep, and a big base runner for York, but
Geneseo for York, number 10, Brett Curtis.
With the exception of Patrick Deshaw, York really, they've caught a couple of breaks on poor defensive plays by Geneseo, but by no means have they been able to really solve Ben Kelly. So we'll see what happens here.
Curtis squares the bunt. He keeps it fair. Kelly fields and fires over to Welsh. So the sacrifice goes 1-3, and Deshaw moves up to second with 2 outs.
Batting for the Knights, number 14, Tyler Schutz.
And like you said, they certainly haven't gotten a lot off Kelly, but they've gotten enough.
Yep, very true, very true. They have gotten enough, and that's the difference in this ball game right now. Schutz at the plate, Deshaw on second. I understand the bunt move there, but with 2 outs, this plays into Geneseo's favor.
Schutz hits it on the ground. Fatimo fields it short, and it eats him up. And they're going to wave Deshaw around. Fatimo making a nice throw home. That's fielded by Valentine, but the run is in. And Schutz moves up to second, and that is a crucial 3rd run.
That is very big, and that ball went off Fatimo's face. And another big run for York, and this does not look good for Geneseo.
Next batter for York, number 15, Andrew Short.
Certainly Schutz is looking at it from the perspective of, I got to help myself. And he just did it there. He got himself another run to play around with. And York back up 2. So here's Short. And that is a huge run in the person of Schutz out at second base.
Yeah, and then, the bounces have not gone Jake Fatimo's way today.
And it's not like Fatimo has, bobbled easy plays. Everything that's been hit out to him has seemingly been a rope, and he's just gotten a bad hop on the. This has not been a bad. The errors might be there for Fatimo, but they've been very tough plays that he's had to make.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a tough play. Most of the plays he's had to make have been tough, but that dirt out there at short, I know it pretty well. It's not the most forgiving area of the diamond, and you get a couple of rocks out there, a bad bounce here or there, and that's what happens.
Next one is short, called strike, 1-2.
Really, really big pitch here for Ben Kelly. He's got to get out of this inning without giving up another run. He needs He needs to provide as much stability here as possible.
Next one from Kelly. Short, hits it. Mothersell is chasing it. That one's going foul.
Yeah, and that one just outside the line out there and right. And that's where the majority of the pitches shortest hit have been going. Nonetheless, count holds at 1-2.
So Kelly will ready the 1-2 again. Short hits it up in the air. Who's going to call for it? It looks like it'll be LeGrew, and LeGrew will take it. And the inning is over, but another run crosses the plate for the Golden Knights. It's last call time for Geneseo. They trail it 3-1.
And that was a very big out by Ryan LeGrew to make that play with, 2 outs. Obviously, Tyler Schutz is running on the crack of the bat, and he's going to keep running until, they call the play dead. But if you drop that in the infield, that would be completely demoralizing. And you know what? With the top of the order up here for Geneseo, it's going to be this is going to be an inning to look forward to, and I'm well aware that this team's not going to go down without a fight. They just need to string together hits at the right time.
Certainly, if you're Coach Chuck Nesbitt, you wouldn't rather have any 3 guys up than Belfiore, LeGrew, and Kelly. Certainly, if your season is going to end here today, you want to go out with your top guys going out there, and they're going to get a chance to get 2 runs, which they need to tie this game. They've got the right guys up to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Chuck Nesbitt right now, the thing you're going to preach to your guys is patience. And don't be too anxious up there because, you're not going to be able to tie this game in one swing. For one, Geneseo doesn't have a fence. And 2, they're down 2 runs. This has got to be
Batting first for the Devils, number 3, Tony Belfiore.
This needs to be, a really long inning for Geneseo to come back, and that's what they need. You can't try and tie it with 2 quick, or 4 hits. You got to make this a long inning on Tyler Schutz.
So Schutz is back out. Belfiore hits the first one, and that is caught by the shortstop. And Belfiore is retired. First time he's been retired all game. He had previously been 3 for 3.
And now Ryan LeGrew stepping to the plate, and LeGrew has not figured out Tyler Schutz yet.
Number 10, Ryan LeGrew.
Geneseo's down in the last 2 outs.
LeGrew flew out to left, and he popped out to third, then had a sacrifice bunt. Takes the first one from Schutz high.
And just all it really takes is 1 base runner right now for Geneseo. And then they can get going.
1-0 from Schutz. LeGrew hits it out to left field. Logston came in, and then I think he might have lost the ball as that one falls in, and LeGrew's aboard with a single.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of had to readjust, and it looked like he slipped a little bit, but that's what I was saying right there. That's a huge runner.
Number 4, Ben Kelly.
And you wonder if Logston was thinking if he kept coming in hard on that ball that it might have got it past him. So play it on a hop, keep LeGrew at first.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of possible things going through his mind.
Breaking ball's over for Schutz, 0-1 as Kelly steps in. Ben's grounded into a double play, flown out to center, and had a fielder's choice. Kelly rips that one into left field for a base hit. Fielded by Logston in left field. He'll get it in. And just like that, Geneseo's got 2 men aboard for Granger Flint.
Next batter for Geneseo, number 8, Granger Flint.
Tying runs at first base, Chris, and I tell you what, this is exactly the situation that Geneseo wants to be in.
Well, and it's exactly what you said. You get 1 hit, and then things start to go. LeGrew got the hit in front of Logston, and Ben Kelly picked on the same area, left field, and got a hit. And now the go-ahead run, and the man of Granger Flint is at the plate.
Just think small bites, really, for Geneseo. Just 1 hit at a time, and it'll all come together. Flint at the plate, you really just got to be patient, make sure that the pitch you hit's the one you really can get a hold of and put it in play for a base hit.
That one is hit on the ground, and it's under Curtis's glove, and Curtis and LeGroux run into each other, and that
should be the runner should score.
That's got to be interference. Obviously, it was inadvertent.
And they're not calling anything, but that's got to be
that's got to be.
And Coach Chuck Nesbitt definitely has a case here, and
that's got to be runners. It was was inadvertent, but that has to be runners interference.
Fielder's interference.
Fielder's interference because LeGroux was clearly going to score.
And
he was rounding third, and as that ball came up from Curtis, as he was going to get across the bag, they both ran into each other.
And
so
I
this
know
will be an interesting debate to see where this goes.
Yeah, and I know we talk about umpires.
Now batting for Geneseo, number 11, Devin Welch.
I know we talk about umpires. They do a fantastic job, but that I'm extremely surprised that the umpire missed. I mean, the runner in that call for an umpire, what usually happens if you run into running into a runner like that, the runner gets the base that he was going to have anyways, and then any other possible base that you would have assumed as an umpire or as anyone else in the ballpark would have received, once they run into the player, it's the next runner, and next base. I apologize. Usually the next base is given to the runner. They usually get two bases, the one they were going to, and then the next one. Which I'm really surprised that the umpire didn't award that to LeGroux over there. And that could be a bad break, but it also could be, it could be a not too big of a deal. You have speed now on all four bases, and with Devin Welch at the plate,
for Geneseo, number 11, Devin Welch.
It's almost a little bit closer. You hit the ball to the outfield, you're getting one for sure, and it amps up the dugout a little bit.
So Jake Klaar's come in to run for Granger Flynn at first. Schutz will go from the full windup as Welch is up here with the bases loaded.
And it doesn't get any better than this, Chris.
Absolutely not. Doesn't even matter if you're a fan of high school baseball or not. This is absolutely the situation. That one's hit on the ground. Gets past both Curtis and Dubiel, and one run will score. That's an RBI single for Devin Welch. And York now only leads by a run, 3-2.
And Ben Kelly was held up at third by Coach Nesbitt, and I understand that he wants to make sure he gets the run in.
Number 12, Corey Valentine.
However, I really think that he should have sent Ben Kelly. And we're going to get another pinch runner here. Sam Johnson is going into the game for Devin Welch.
So Johnson will run for Welch, and now Valentine is in a very interesting situation, knowing that Jake Klaar is out at second. He knows a hit to the outfield that's going to win him this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? With Johnson on first and Valentine at the plate, you really need to watch out. You don't want to hit the ball hard to the middle of the infield or back to the pitcher, because that's a home to first double play, which ends this ball game.
Number 12, Corey Valentine.
So here we go. Bags still chucked for the Blue Devils. Kelly at third, Klaar at second, Johnson at first. Valentine is the man at the plate, and he's 0 for 3 today. Shuts his first one, hangs a little high, or 1-0.
That pitch was very, very close.
Next one from Schutz. High again, 2-0.
And Coach Rick Vitimo at first base tells Valentine to step out and points over to Coach Chuck Nesbitt, and you just hear him look over and just say, "No help." So it's clear. Don't swing at anything out of the zone.
2-0 high from Schutz, 3-0.
And you know what? A walk ties the game. So this is This is very intense.
No base for Valentine to go. Shuts his next one, gets the call, 3-1.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to expect Schutz to throw a strike there.
Now, if you're Valentine in this situation, 3-1, you're probably going to get a pretty good pitch to hit. Are you taking here all the way?
I would.
Valentine does not, and he might have swung through ball 4.
That was definitely ball 4. And like I said, I definitely would have taken that. You got to make sure he's going to throw you strike 2. I mean, you don't want to get the bat off your shoulder unless you know it's in there.
3-2 from Schutz. Valentine hits it out. It is the left fielder Logston. He has the ball. Kelly will tag from third, and he will score. Kelly scores, and we have a tie game here in Geneseo.
And that was incredible. And that's absolutely the right call by the umpire. And they're gonna touch third to see if he went early, but I think they're gonna find that he definitely touched home. We've got it on film. He touched home. I mean, York's gonna appeal third here, but I think it's gonna be no avail. Yep, Geneseo ties the game.
So the appeal play goes for naught. And now it is LaGrue still at third.
Next batter for the Devils, number 16, Trevor Mothersell.
And that was, and York did everything right. Luke Logston put his throw right on. In that just pit. The ball was just a little bit too far up the line for Deshaw. And now Geneseo's in the driver's seat with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. And scrappy Trevor Mothersell at the plate.
So Geneseo has battled all the way back, getting 2 runs here. And now a chance with that winning run. Mothersell hits it out, and that's going to find a gap. And Geneseo is going to win this game and advance to the sectional semifinals. What a comeback for the Geneseo Blue Devils. They score 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th and advance. What a finish here in Geneseo, Joe.
Wow, that was incredible. And Trevor Mothersell did wow. That was, I'll tell you what, that was unbelievable.
Geneseo had trailed the entire game for 6 innings, and here in the 7th, they're able to get 3 runs off Tyler Schutz. And they win this ball game 4-3.
Yeah, that was. Hey, you know what? It's a classic. Geneseo fans, I'm sure, will be remembering this one for a long time. As we see Ben Kelly and Tyler Schutz and Patrick Deshaw getting, they've played together for a very long time. Schutz and Deshaw and Kelly were actually on the same Little League team, so. These 3 go way back, and I'm sure some of the other Geneseo guys have been on those teams too. And what a game, really.
This is a type of ball game that you come back maybe for the 5-year reunion and you say, hey, you remember that bottom of the 7th? Hey, yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, because this one had one hell of a finish here at Geneseo Central. As we said, the Blue Devils come up with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th, topped off by the Trevor Mothersell RBI to win it. They eliminate York from sectionals. The Blue Devils will advance. We believe they'll play the winner of Cal Mum and
Cuba Rushford.
We believe that game will be Friday.
Time and place to be determined. Little note about Cuba Rushford is that Cuba Rushford was the team that eliminated the 2 of the 3 Geneseo teams that I played on in sectional play. So definitely be some redemption for these Geneseo boys.
What a finish, and how lucky everybody is here that you got to see it on TV.GeneseeSun.com. You're going to want to watch this one over again. As my partner said, it was an